Mic check 1 2. What's up, guys? John Cozy here. What's today? Fuck today. Fuck the dates. I am recording this intro a day after we did this episode, this current episode of the podcast that you guys are listening to. Sorry for the late upload, but uh, yeah, I stayed up kind of late. I had to help Shikz with some of her fucking website shit, because she's setting up her website for her new show, Fresh, brought to you by Greenleaf Check and Aloha Hype. First episode premiering soon with the homie Connor Boy. So shouts to Fresh, shouts to Sheiks. I saw the episode, dope as fuck. You can go, you can, fuck. You can go follow her show Fresh on Instagram at Fresh Let's Vibe on Instagram. And you can follow her at Sheiks on Instagram as well. You know what? Fuck spelling this shit. I can put the links in the description. So just look at the description, click on the links, and then you can follow her social media and all that shit. You can find me at John Cozy on everything, pretty much Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud. Check out my music and shit. And you can follow Science Ben on Instagram at science_Ben. Speaking of Science Ben, he's got a comedy show coming up at Hawaiian Brian's on March 26th. That's a Saturday. And he is having, or they are bringing down, let's start this over. No, let's not start this over. We've gone too far. Sam Talent live in Hawaii at Hawaiian Brian's on Saturday, March 26th. Show starts at 7 p.m. Let's see where you can get $10 pre-sale tickets and $15 at the door. You can go to www.squadup.com /events/Sam talent-Hawaii and get tickets for the show over there. It's going to be at the studio at Hawaiian Brian's. Nice intimate venue. Been there before. Did some shows there. Not stand-up, though. I rapped. Yeah, I rapped at that thing. That place over there. So, yeah. Squadup.com for tickets. Sam Talent live in Hawaii. Also, coming up for Greenleaf Check. Not much. I'm actually doing some restructuring. I'm gonna be doing some restructuring. I'm gonna reformat the podcast. Whereas before it was just DJ mixes. I'm gonna try to do it like a live radio show. Hopefully, eventually, maybe soon. I don't know when. I got a lot of fucking things to do, guys. Things I've been working on. What else? Just the vlogs. Check out the vlogs, John Cozy TV. So youtube.com/John Cozy TV. Also check out Aloha Hype at alohahype.com. And be on the lookout for a bunch of other shit we're going to be doing. And we will be promoting on this here podcast. I'm really bad at these fucking ads. Oh, also brought to you today. We are brought to you today by About the Goods. Located at 930 McCully Street, Suite 203. About the Goods, run by my homies DJ Revise, DJ Titterbite, the homie Took. They got all the fresh gear, man. I bought my fucking joggers from there that I still wear, by brands like Ding Ding. I think that's what it's called, Xanarobe. They got the exclusive drops every so often. Oh, they got these badass new Aloha tees. These like Aloha shirts that are super dope, but I can't quite fit just yet. Eventually, though. I've been going on that paleo diet, son. It's been working out real good. But yeah, go check them out, aboutthegoods.com. Spelled about he good, so there's only one T in this motherfucker. Because I don't know why. Maybe About the Goods with 2 T's was taken. But yeah, aboutthegoods.com at about he goods on Instagram and Twitter. And fucking, 930 McCully Street, Suite 203. Shouts to them for letting us record in their shop. Sometimes. Anyway. 2 very special guests on this episode of the podcast, Quality Music and Leelu. Quality, he runs Sandy Scoops Radio, an online radio that runs 24/7. He features a lot of local Hawaii-based hip-hop music and reggae and all that shit. Play it alongside some other stuff, some other dope music. And also every weekday at 9 a.m. he plays an episode of Aloha Broha on his online radio. I'll put all the links to his stuff below. You can go check out sandyscoops.com and check out Leelu Express on Twitter. That's at Leelu Express. That's Leelu. You know what? Why do I keep trying to spell shit? Y'all need to just fucking read the description because I'm gonna be typing it out over there, and you can just click it one time, and then that'll be that. I don't have to spell shit. You don't even gotta spell shit. I'll just be like, click here, motherfucker. In the description, you click it, it'll take you to all the stuff. Okay, now I'm rambling. Anyway, these two guests, two of the most positive people I've met in a very long time. It's almost infectious. You know, it was all love. You know, I had a great time talking to them, getting to know them and all that. But anyway, enough of me. I gotta shut the fuck up and get on to the show.
Yeah.
Okay. It is weird, you know what?
I like that song. Cut it.
It is weird having the conversation or just like being around other parents and just like having that communication about smoking or edibles or something, you know? So
I feel like it's such a lifestyle, and people just some people don't understand, and I'm just like, I don't care what you think.
Well, I mean,
the reason it's illegal is bullshit too.
The fact that it is illegal is dumb.
The stigma around it is all part of this massive propaganda that's been placed around drugs in general.
I just got shocked. What is going on?
Oh.
You alright over there?
Oh, that's so weird. It's like my face.
Oh,
Like,
static shock right to the cheek.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry, though.
yeah.
No, it's okay.
Well, we just tell our daughter she's Jamaican. Like, you'll understand when you get older.
But
There will be a time and a place.
Yes.
There's like, I mean, if you want to get on the more serious side, there's groups, you know, that you can sign up with, and they go to the schools and they actually have open conversations about, you know, maybe it's not good or bad, but it is there.
Yeah.
And you should like,
Yeah.
at least consider that it is there and be a human and make a decision.
Yeah, and
You know?
studies have shown widely that understanding and education does more to reduce use and abuse for sure than anything else. It's the same thing with like sex education. Abstinence training doesn't work.
Right.
So what you got to do is you have to help people to understand both because there are benefits and there are consequences to doing anything.
Correct.
And so when you understand those consequences, people make better and more informed choices. There's going to be less harmful effects of things.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
I believe if sugar just like came out in 2016, it'll be illegal. Because it does so much like what it does to the body and how hyped up people get.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I know that shit went through the same problems as marijuana did at one point. Maybe, I don't know. But I know sugar is pretty intense and caffeine, and it's just something that we have to get adapted to as a society. Like,
Right as I open a rock star too.
I know, but I mean, like we've seen conclusive evidence that sugar affects the brain the exact same way that cocaine does.
Yeah, I watched that documentary you told me to
Fed
watch,
Up.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a documentary right now called Fed Up on Netflix. It's great. It just talks about how sugar is more likely. There's no hard evidence right now because the studies just aren't being done.
Yeah.
But realistically, from the evidence that we do have, it can be extrapolated to say that most of the health problems in America are the fact that sugar goes completely unregulated in all of our food, mainstream food stuff.
Yeah.
So, for instance, like this is a zero sugar drink, but if you look at everything else on a food fact label, it all says the daily percent value, except for sugars. Sugars will never tell you a daily percent level on anything, and that's because realistically we don't need that much. We need like fractions of a percent to a day to keep ourselves going.
An apple and a banana, and you'd be all right.
Exactly. Yeah. But like a gram of sugar is way too much for a day worth of sugar, and so
you got
it's
these
absolutely
kids
ridiculous.
like ODing everywhere.
On sugar.
Right. They're just on the
Our
bus.
daughter
like,
brought
ODing,
home a
like,
bag
shaking.
of sugar from a science experiment, and I think it was like 24 grams of sugar, and it's like this much in the bag full. And you'll look at a Coca-Cola, and it has 64 grams.
Oh, it's absolutely
and like one
ridiculous.
of those like regular size, like that.
Yeah,
You know? And it's like.
And sugar comes in so many different forms too, from like from corn syrup, which is essentially just sugar, to like even this monster. This is the zero sugar monster, but it has 1 gram of erythritol, which is just sugar. Essentially, it's basically sugar, but it's slightly different. so they can call it something else and they can say that this is a zero sugar.
It's like a gray area drug.
Right.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
We're gonna go in the middle.
Found a loophole, y'all. Let's get it.
Hey, hi,
Let's
hello.
use this stevia.
Hey,
Hey.
hi, hey, hi. Hey, hi, hello. What are you up to? This is the Aloha Broha podcast. I am one of your hosts, John Cozy, and with me, as always, is Science Ben
Swag.
and Shikz.
Hello.
Joining us today for the first time ever on the podcast, two very special guests that go by the names of Quality and Leelu.
Hey.
What up, y'all?
Wait,
Welcome.
Thank
Quality?
you for having
Quality.
us.
Quality.
Quality.
Yep.
What's your government name?
What's
man?
your
Are you
government
sure you got like
name?
cases or something? You ain't,
Oh, no,
ain't got
it's
something?
just Greg. Greg.
Okay.
Greg
Greg.
is cool. But it's even cooler if I tell you my brother's name,
What's your brother's name?
Craig.
Greg and Craig.
Yep, so it's worth something now.
That's McDonald's.
Yeah,
I'm loving it.
right.
That's a Pete Holmes joke that I totally just stole, but I don't care. 'Cause That's a great joke.
Okay, so a little bit of background. You do quality music, Sandy Scoops Radio, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
Sandy Scoops.
So tell us a little bit about it. Like, tell me the differences.
Yeah, because I thought your name was Sandy all this time. And you got the
And
scoops, you know?
Sandy's got some scoops.
Right.
I'll
Well,
be
like,
saying.
all right, quality is something that I got in the studio a long time ago. And I just been going with it just because I'm pretty anal in the lab. And then I started doing the radio station. And I wanted to name it something, and I called it Sandy Scoops. Yeah,
Why
just-
Sandy Scoops?
It's just
Tell me about it. Tell me the background story about it. Tell us.
Sandy Scoops is just something I came up with because I just like coming up with weird names all the time that just gets people attention. I just like to captivate a weird feeling so people could just remember it.
What was that?
Yeah, like what the fuck did you say?
Sandy
Like Sandy
Scoops?
Scoops? What is that?
Wow.
It is catchy, that's for
Yeah.
sure. Like, there's no denying that. That's something that's like Sandy Scoops.
Sandy Scoops, you makes you wanna like Google it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But it's a process in making it mean something, you know. Definitely with him featuring the local underground scene
Yeah.
as far as hip hop goes, dance, reggae, stuff
Oh
like that.
no, the
so-
radio station.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, when
Yeah.
we were in the studio, when we were at the shop when we visited you guys, when I was listening who you guys featured, I was just like, oh my gosh, it's every single track was from, you guys even featured Cozy's song on there. You guys had Quali. You guys had such a variety of different artists from Hawaii, and I was just like, that's what we
Yeah.
need, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Before we dive too much into like what you guys are featuring and don't get me wrong, it's awesome. We're gonna get to that, but
Yeah.
like for those who don't know, what exactly is Sandy Scoops?
It's an online radio station, 24 hours a day.
And basically more or less curated by you. Do you have anyone helping you kind of curate what's going on
Nope,
there?
I need help bad. This shit is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like a lot
To
of work.
keep up, yeah.
To
like it's just-
maintain and keep it circulating and dealing with. I just got licensed too, so it's like now I'm not a pirate radio now. Now I pay royalties to artists and shit to help encourage people to get their shit together when it comes down to the business side of music.
Very
yeah.
nice, very nice.
Yeah.
What was that?
That was my
that
phone,
you?
yeah.
Oh,
Jump man.
I know, that was us.
Right.
That picked up so nicely on the
Yeah.
mic too. That was great.
Like I use my notification on my phone. Like if it comes on at the right time, like I'm supposed to do that. Fuck it. Just cause that bell came on right then and there, that was perfect. I'm gonna do it.
Very nice.
Right on
So, what kind of processes do you go through? Like you said, you just got licensed essentially, so that you can start paying royalties and whatnot. So, what kind of stuff have you been doing on the now not pirate radio?
Nothing different really. Now I'm just legit. I could actually market the radio station versus just being word of mouth. That's the difference.
So where does it all start for you, man? Where you from? Where you say you guys
I
from?
grew up in the Windy City and Leelu.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm from all over the world. I am
like
an
that.
Air Force brat, and I sympathize with all who had to go through that process. I think that asking, I don't know, that's like the hardest question for me. I was born in California. I lived in Germany, Las Vegas, New Jersey.
Oh wow.
you are all over the
I
map.
was kind of a Navy
Atlanta,
brat.
Florida. Yeah.
Kind of Navy brat, but I really only lived in two different places: California and Hawaii.
Yeah.
So I can't really say.
How long have you been in Hawaii?
Going on 6 years now.
6 years.
Nice, nice.
Shit's dope.
Yeah.
Real dope.
Would you guys call it home now?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I can't
for sure.
imagine living anywhere else.
Straight up.
You know?
Yeah, we came out of Atlanta though. We met in Atlanta.
Oh,
we was there
okay.
for like 10 years. I was there
Okay.
for 10 years.
9.
9, something like that, roughly.
Were you guys, how'd you guys meet in Atlanta? Was that a spot? Come on. Come on.
Well, you tell the story.
Okay.
Try.
So there's this little spot in Atlanta called Apache Cafe.
Apache Cafe, okay.
Yeah, and they feature like local artists. You can sign up for a list.
Oh.
And then they have like band players, and anyone can join. So if you play an instrument, you just bring it and you go up there and you jam. And I met him there. He was there to support one of his friends.
And you were
And-
performing?
No, I wasn't. I was actually inviting people to my New Year's Eve party. Yeah, because it was like 2
Oh.
days before New Year's Eve. And yeah,
Yep.
I invited him. So,
And then it was just,
yeah,
It was on and
like-
popping from there.
It
yeah.
was.
And you guys have a daughter now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful girl. I saw a picture of her. Beautiful,
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Thank you, thank you.
And Leelu,
Yes.
let's get to know you a little bit.
Okay.
What do you do? Tell us, tell us.
I am singer-songwriter, mom,
Mom.
wife, everything.
So were you doing music in Atlanta too? Or did you start doing that
I
when you
did
came here?
I did a little bit of music. I
Are
made
you shaking your head?
that was the
Yeah.
first time I finished 2 songs.
Because I met her in Atlanta, so it's like,
Yeah, he was more into the music.
Okay.
I come from being like extremely shy with like doing all of this. And so like during that time, it was kind of hard for me to even like hear myself on a microphone.
Uh-huh.
But so like accomplishing 2 songs for me was like big. So
Yeah.
I think I did 2 songs
yeah.
in
we-
Atlanta.
Yeah, like,
But as of
about 3
recently,
years.
in the past like 2 years, I really committed to like, okay, let's
Really
see
going
what we
after
can
it.
do with this. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then how did you get to know everybody here when you guys moved here? Because I met you guys at Greenleaf Hideout. That's when I first like initially met you guys. How did that all start? How did you guys get into the wave of everything and getting to know everybody?
well,
Who have we known the longest?
Cornelius.
Cornelia.
Cornelius.
Yes, yes,
I call
yes.
him Cornelius the jester because he's always clowning around in the studio. And I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, Cornelius was our neighbor.
Yeah.
When we
Oh,
lived
okay.
near Chinatown.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we just kicked it for a little bit, and then they had like that Fly High festival.
Oh, right,
So I
okay.
saw Cornelius on it, and I was like, "Yo, we got show
and
support."
support.
And I heard about a couple of these guys here, so let's check it
Okay.
out. And we were just started like getting all these songs done, and I've been doing music forever, so I've always been like in it, just curious about what's going on like locally and so on. And so yeah, we went to the festival and we just linked up with Cornelius, and we met Connor Boy, and it just, I don't know, it just
Kinda
happened so
You
fast.
met
from there.
Sire at the
Sire
store,
at the
right?
store.
And yeah,
I met
Kind of
Mr.
just
Joshua.
snowballed from there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Straight
So
I meet people through him. So,
right.
yeah,
Okay.
so
You guys are a team. Like
Yeah.
you make
Yeah.
beats and you make beats. Do you do any rapping?
Well, I make beats, but I don't really well, I guess I make beats.
Just say it.
Yeah.
Just
I'm not a
admit it.
producer, but I do make beats. I have my MPC, but I really got into like the engineering, the technical part.
Okay.
And
of
he
the
can
whole thing.
DJ.
I
and
could
all of
DJ, I
that.
build websites. I'm really like a geek 1000.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like all the technical stuff, so I just dabbed right into it. But I love music and good vibes, and I know how strong a good vibe is, especially with music.
Oh, you guys are full of positivity. I walked into the
Yeah.
store and y'all was just like infinite amount of love, and I was just like, oh
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that's us.
Definitely.
Feel good all the time.
Have to.
It's so important.
oh my gosh. I think when I first heard you was through Hit My Line, and I was like, who is this girl?
Yeah.
There it is. There it is. It needs to be copyrighted. That should just be his tag already. Like,
Straight up, that'd be dope.
so tell us a little bit more about Sandy Scoops. How did that grow out more into everything else?
Yeah, what made you want to start?
Yeah.
All right, shit, like I DJ'd was Me DJing was the first thing I started off doing, and that was when I was maybe like in the 8th grade.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you started early.
It started early. I got like 2 turntables that wasn't supposed to be like manual, so they always bounced and skipped and shit, and it was just terrible. I had a mixer, and I started doing that, and I just been collecting music, especially as soon as I got a computer. I was like, this is it. And then been collecting music, and everybody likes the kind of music I played, and I just woke up like, yo, what's an online radio station doing? How do they do it? And I
Okay.
just
And Hawaii
into it.
has like such a community already, like with hip hop and music, and it was like, you know what? They could really utilize like basically their own station, you
Yes,
know, and like
yeah.
something that they could be under and just like release their music, and it's like all them. Hey, run
Yeah.
with it, you know. This is your station.
Yeah.
Keep making music.
Yeah.
So, and like it's being a support for that system to embrace that
Yeah.
and like assist in any way that we can because that's important, you know. And it's like so good here.
Yeah,
so
so
it's
good.
like, yeah, it's so good.
It's important for you to like do service for the community. Like so motherfucking important to help one another out, to keep inspiring and encouraging the old people and the young ones, you
Yeah.
know, to like work at this so we could like make it happen. I see just being in Atlanta for not like 10 years, to see how they did it and how they came together, and the radio station did it for them. Straight up, the radio station played nothing but Atlanta. Oh, and the strip clubs too. But
Of course, King of Diamonds is
Yeah, right.
one of the places I've heard.
But yeah, and the radio station helped out a lot, and they played the shit that nobody was playing just because it was from there, and that needs to be here because there's so much shit out here that comes out. Like I collect everything that comes out of Honolulu on SoundCloud.
I heard you
and-
have almost every single release so far in the past year or two.
Well, like really hard in the last 4-5 months. I have like joints from maybe a year ago, 2 years ago when I started.
Yeah.
But now like lately, nonstop. Like last month it was like 100 new songs out of Honolulu. January is like another 100 brand new joints, and it's like damn, like motherfuckers is making music. Somebody
Yeah.
wants to
Music
get it out.
coming out of Hawaii.
Yeah,
There's-
bro. Like,
yeah.
and there's so many people that I'm just learning about that's dropping some more dope shit. Like,
Yeah.
this
And
stuff has to be
Is this all in the hip hop genre, or is this in like multiple
hip
different
hop
genres?
and reggae.
Okay.
That's like what I
Right.
really like enjoy a lot, hip hop and reggae.
Yeah,
And some-
reggae's exploded a lot in the last several years out here too. Like it's always been popular, but I think that we've been getting more and more reggae makers coming out of Hawaii in the last, I'd say, probably 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
We're
Sure.
so the reggae and the Jawaiian music is so established here because it's that island sound.
That
You
vibe.
know, it's that vibe that as soon as you see Hawaii, people are just like already thinking we either live in grass shacks or coconut bras or something, you know. And then here comes the Jawaiian music, and that's automatically what people think. You know, that
Yeah.
the whole Pacific. And then I feel like there's a cloak somewhere with like
With hip hop?
yeah, with hip hop, R&B. Like, you know, we have so many great artists here, and you know, you guys doing the radio. I think that's just such a big help with everything, and the fact that we're all like coming together and working at it. I think that's such a great thing, and you know, it's something that we all
That's
need
how
to do.
movements happen.
That's how
Yeah.
movements happen.
And Hawaii has a big one to deliver. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think like the biggest thing right now is everybody got the technology. Everybody has an MPC, everybody has a microphone, and everybody has a Mac computer. But it's really about the art of collaborating with others around you and coming up with something fucking totally different.
Yeah.
And try to make like just unite like all forces and shit. You know? So
Dun, 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 dun.
right?
I'm all about that comic
Yeah.
book shit and like heroes.
Oh,
and, like,
well, look
Star
at that.
Wars
Oh,
and
look
all
at that.
that.
Look at that.
Yeah.
There's a
We're
reason.
gonna talk about Star
Oh,
Wars
we're gonna
again.
talk about Star Wars
Comic books
again?
again? Oh shit!
I watched Star Wars twice, I think.
I've seen it
The new
twice.
Star. Yeah,
I saw
I've
it
seen it
twice.
twice. I think Ben, you seen it 3 times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What times do you guys?
Just
you guys
like
see
the
it?
full,
Yeah, we saw it
like
once.
every
Yeah.
single.
What you guys
Oh,
think?
Or
I-
like,
The
are we?
newest one, the
Oh, we're
newest
talking
one.
about the newest.
Yeah, the new like if we're going
I saw
like
that.
everything, I've seen.
Okay, then we've probably seen it like.
I can't even
over-
count the number
yeah.
of times I've
Oh,
seen 4,
okay.
5, and 6, and then like episode 1 I've seen at least probably 4 or 5 times. 2 I've seen like 2 or 3 times, and then
Yeah.
3 I've done about 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Because it was when 2 and 3 were coming out that I started to like understand my tastes and also understand a little bit more of the objective quality of something and whatnot. And so that's when I started to kind of fall off of the stories in episode 2 and 3 and whatnot. And I started
Yeah.
seeing like, okay, these are. I started to see the reason why a lot of people were saying that these aren't good movies.
Yeah.
And so like I've gone and watched them again just to kind of like now that like that's something that I like to do is revisit every once in a while. You go back and you visit something that you.
Yeah.
Considered one way. That way you can see how your tastes have changed on things.
Correct, yeah.
And you also get to see like, oh, you know, with this new expanded knowledge, this new worldview I have, I can look at this with different eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's always fun to do too.
It is. And the communication was totally different from the movie. Like the whole series is old as hell. So it's like the communication back then is different than today, and we kind of have to like adapt with it as well because music is the same way.
Yes.
You know, because it's people. Yeah, we all talk different. My daughter talks different to her friends. I understand what she's saying and shit, but they vibe to it so differently. It's like, all right, like we just have to kind of evolve with the language and shit.
Yeah, I mean, just using the term cool has only been around for 30, 40 years, 50 years maybe.
Wow, that's it?
Yeah, like, because that
Oh,
kind
it's
of,
so new,
yeah,
that's why.
cool,
We're so young.
saying something's cool evolved,
It's like,
like that was, that was not a thing in the 60s. So, I mean, that had to have been sometime in the 70s or 80s that
I
calling
think it was
something
the
cool.
80s. I think it might
Yeah,
have been
so
the 80s.
so realistically, 30 or 40 years is the vernacular, and that's such a key part of,
Yeah.
of vernacular nowadays.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so it's hard to tell like how much things have changed and whatnot.
Yeah, big time. Because shit is still cool.
Always.
So icy.
So you lived in Atlanta for 10 years, both of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
then-
was there for like 9 years.
9.
Yeah.
9, 10.
Okay. And you're incorporating what you've learned in the music industry in Atlanta.
Yeah.
What are the big differences that you see from here and Atlanta? What are the differences?
Man, just more so. There's a lot of similarities.
Okay, let's go with
Yeah, there's a lot-
similarities. Is that easier?
All right. And since my family is Jamaican, I was around a lot of Jamaican people.
Mm-hmm.
So reggae was still pretty big in Atlanta because there's still a lot of Caribbean
Oh, okay.
people in Atlanta too.
But like dance hall.
Dance hall, but there's still
You know, there's
this.
a difference.
Yeah, the parties were dance hall, but there was still a lot of roots reggae and so on, like roots sound culture, you know.
Oh.
And the
that.
dance hall culture was popular to the younger generation because they were the ones going out, right? And so I was around that, and my dad is a promoter, and then they had the hip hop thing too, and the hip hop scene was really big. But the biggest thing the big difference between Hawaii and Atlanta is that the artists work and collaborate with each other a lot.
Okay.
And when I look back at some of the older stuff here, it wasn't really a lot of collaboration.
Everybody
I-
kind of clicked up, right?
yeah, it was very cliquish with one another with the older stuff. But now today, like, since I've been listening to it over the last year, and now, like, everybody's like, yo, I want to work with you, and everybody's like, yeah, let's just do it. And they get it done, and they put that shit out, and it's like, wow, this shit is dope. And it gets a heavy buzz, and that's the type of shit Atlanta did.
And it's crazy because each artist have their own audience, some type of audience, you know, and when they both come together, they kind of get to know. And it's like a snowball effect, you know, you get to
Yeah.
know that artist, and then that feature is just like, okay, who's that?
Yeah.
And then it kind of just goes on and on and on. And everybody is connected somehow.
Yeah.
This is an island. Come on, let's be real here. Like, this is an island. Like, it's so small.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just mentioned like the clicky thing. Can you explain that to me? Like what is the clicky thing here? Like why is that?
Why is that happening?
Yeah, what's that
It's an
about?
ego thing, right?
It's an ego thing.
It's like hip hop too.
Oh,
It's like,
okay.
you know,
Yeah.
we battle. We want to be better than these dudes. These guys think they're the shit. Well, we don't think they're the shit. We think we're better than them. So I'm gonna stay with my peoples. They gonna stay with theirs, and we're gonna try and top each other.
And-
You know, that's
Yeah,
you
and
know,
naturally.
It's like b-boy crews or graph crews,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
MC crews. You know, everybody got crews.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it where I think it comes from, and I think that's kind of good and bad at the same time because it's kind of dividing. But I also think I forgot what I tweeted. It was like competition or what did I tweet? Something about competition, innovation. Drives innovation.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of the principles of like capitalism in general too. Is competition is going to draw people to strive to be better than others, but as we all know too, like it can also bury things because if someone doesn't have the means to get their stuff out there, it can just disappear because they no longer can support doing what it is they're doing, even if it is incredibly innovative.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, I've been an advocate for a long time now of like a mix of socialist style principles with capitalist style principles, because that innovation and that drive to grow something new is incredibly powerful. But at the same time, like, we also need to, like, things can get left behind if we don't work together and help each other out.
Yes.
Yeah, because the
Yes.
competition breaks confidence almost. Like, you're like, I lost, and you're like, oh,
Well-
my confidence dropped a little bit. And we have to keep encouraging. Like, we should be like, oh,
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Like working
good job,
as a
but still,
team
like,
Yeah.
would reinforce
That's where ego
everyone's
comes in.
momentum, and then maybe
Heavily.
the competition part can be like refocused energy somewhere. I don't know where it would go, but it just seems like being able to work together
Yeah.
in a group would make
And-
the team stronger. you
And the
know?
thing too is competition can be also very misleading too. I know in the comedy scene here we have comedy contests every once in a while where like the audience will vote on winners.
Okay.
And realistically, because the audience tends to be pretty small, it's not always the best comic that wins. What tends to happen is whoever brings the most people wins, and so that means whoever and happens to know more people that are willing to mobilize and come out to a show, they're going to end up winning the contest. And
Right.
I'm sure similar things happen in like the hip hop world and whatnot, where if they have like a rap battle or whatever, and if they're letting the audience decide, whoever brought the most people is going to be the winner, period. And they're not necessarily the best.
correct.
So it doesn't mean that they're bad in any way, but like maybe they had an off night, but just because they happen to have more people there,
Yeah.
they're still going to win that contest. And so that can be very misleading for people who don't understand that side of competition too.
Right, right.
That all comes naturally, like the results of a person's ego, you know. But I feel that as long as you don't focus too much on that, like some people, constructive criticism is something that people just need to be open to feedback, you know. So some people are just like, nah, man, I don't fuck with that shit, like, you know what I mean. But then later on, they'll fuck with it later. So it's like it depends on the person on how they, what's the word am I looking for, Ben? What's the word am I?
How they-
When people are
Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Condoms.
What are we talking about now? Like, what? No. Okay, so I think that
Shotgun mics. No, is that not it? Okay.
Don't let my biggest advice to anybody, even coming up, like, don't let what's happening from what happened before, like, don't get into it. Like, you know, you're here for a reason. You know,
Straight up.
You guys are doing the radio thing. You guys don't fall into like that clickiness. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always gonna be there. It's always gonna be
It's
there.
a human thing too,
Yeah,
man. Like
it's-
ancient times, tribes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I like how Sandy Scoops, like, it can't be clicky because it has
can't.
to be everybody. 'cause
Everybody.
it's the
Because you're a radio station.
you know, so it kind of.
Yeah, so that's exactly, I think, in any industry. It doesn't have to be hip hop. It doesn't have to be comedy. It could be anything, fashion, whatever. Like, it's like your own perspective on things. Like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. But respect me for the work I put in, and I respect you for the work that you've put in.
Yeah.
You know, I posted on Facebook before where I'm just like, man, let's stop competing against each other. Like, use this competition to motivate, to do better. You know, take something from each artist. Like, maybe that artist has a different way of doing things, and that could help you somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've advocated for a long time now. In fact, we've had an entire episode about it. Like, we focus particularly about movies, but I mean, it can apply to anything really. Because like there's a difference between what someone likes and like the actual quality of something.
Yeah.
And so like I said, we were talking about movies at the time, so we can say like there's a difference between me liking a film and it being a good or bad film.
Right.
Like the example I use is I absolutely love the movie Lake Placid, but I can sit here and objectively say that's a bad film. So I mean,
Is that
the
the one with
alligators.
the? Oh, is
The
that the alligator or the
Yeah,
volcano?
no, it's the alligators.
Oh.
It ended up being 2 giant alligators in this lake up in
with
Was
a
it
bunch of like
scary?
young
So-
kids.
Was
and
it
then
a
they-
scary movie?
Not
It
really.
was,
It was
more of a thriller. So I mean, there were a couple of jump scares, but I mean, but yeah. So like, and the thing is, like, what I think more and more people should do is be able to sit there and say, like, and I some friends of mine have actually brought this up too. Like, it's hard to sit there and judge art. Like that's a really hard thing to do because most of art is very objective and it's about what you get out of that art kind of thing. And so I think that what more people should be trying to do is say, you know, while this might not appeal to my personal tastes, I can sit here and I can look at the objective qualities of something and say, like if we're looking at a painting and say, well, you know, I don't like this painting, but I can sit here and I can say, like, I can see the brush strokes and the way that this happened, and I thought that was really cool, even though this piece didn't speak to me. Or if we're talking about music, you can sit there and say, like, well, you know, the beat didn't work for me, but I can see, like, because there's a lot of math in music, and if people took the time to understand it a little bit more, they could sit there and go, like, oh, you know, like, the structure of the song is really interesting, even though, like I said, it doesn't appeal to me personally. And I think that's something that more people should strive to do is separating their likes from the quality of something, the objective quality of something.
It happens all the time. Like people send beats to people and then it just doesn't work out for them, but somebody else will come out and bring something out of it. And then next thing you know, it inspires that artist that didn't like it in the beginning. And it's just like, oh, yo, I did not hear this in the beginning.
Yeah.
I did not hear this verse. And the next thing you know, they're writing a whole different, they're writing to it.
Yeah, things are constantly evolving and growing and changing, so.
My vape pen was on in my pocket while he was leaning on me. I'm like, fucking my
Oh,
titties. Like, why is my shit burning, yo? What? All right.
Did you guys watch Deadpool?
Not yet. Like,
I'm trying to think what's the last movie we went.
Star Wars.
Was it really?
Yep.
Star Wars?
That was the last movie we went to.
So
Like,
much has
we
come
had
out that
to
you guys
see.
got to go see.
Yeah.
I know. I realize you guys are busy, so it's like
Oh,
find the things that can find the time and whatnot.
Right,
So
that's-
I imagine like being as busy as you guys probably tend to be, like it has to be a lot of like, well, we're gonna have to wait for this to come out on DVD or Netflix or something before we can find the time to go get it.
Man, before our daughter was born, we watched TV, and after she was born, it was like 2008, and it was like America's depression, right? So we didn't have like cable and shit and stuff.
Yeah.
So we was like, you know what, fuck a TV. And so we didn't have a TV, and we still don't have one.
Yeah, we
And
don't.
we just have a computer. And
Classic cable cutting.
Yeah.
We're more productive that way.
Yeah, big
Without
time.
TV, because TV can just like take you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
Oh,
so.
yeah.
But we're definitely, you know, we schedule in our date
Yeah.
time.
We almost
But I
had to
went to the
schedule in
film
TV. It's, like,
festival.
kinda
They had the
bad.
film festival over at Doris Duke, and I saw a couple films. this
What
month.
what films were they playing out there?
They had this one called Popolo, actually. I didn't actually get to see it. It was last Friday, and it was an all Hawaiian cast.
Oh,
And
wow.
it won like all these awards and the film festivals on the mainland and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard it was really good.
That's good.
Yeah, film festivals are really cool, especially if you're into like the artsy side of the things, because most of the really artsy films are not going to be shown in theaters and whatnot because they're not as profitable. Most people aren't willing to sit through an artsy film. Like we actually just the other week we went and saw The Witch. And
gosh.
that is marketed completely wrong because it's really not a scary movie
not a
at
horror
all.
movie.
Yeah.
Really? Are you
It
sure?
is so art house because what it is the story. It's more of a
More about the family and what happens to them.
it's this kind of art house telling of like a satanic story, and so it's like if you kind of dig into
Yeah, it's a
the
very
lore
indie
of
movie.
witches and whatnot, it's this idea that a witch's circle is kind of brought together by like this is like the Christian lore of witches and whatnot. So there's nothing really solidified on it,
Right.
but it's like it's a satanic circle, and it's these women that get tempted by Satan, and that's where they gain their magical powers and whatnot. And so you kind of see essentially what the movie is showing is how this person goes from being essentially a pretty good Christian woman to becoming a witch, and the things that she goes through, and you're led to kind of question, what if this is like is being imagined as happening, and what of this is actually happening. So like there's some supernatural things that occur, and you're like, well, is this like, is the movie saying that supernatural things are occurring, or is it saying that this is how people are interpreting random events as being supernatural and whatnot?
That's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
I love that
it's
perception.
so art house, and it's really, and like it does have a scary feel to it, but I think that most of that feeling that I had was coming because I was expecting it to be a scary movie because it was marketed as this like scare movie,
Yeah.
and it's not at all.
It's not.
Yeah, and that's also why it's gotten really bad reviews, is because people go and like,
Expectations
yeah, they're like,
are-
we're going to see some jump scares. There's really like no real jump scares in the whole film.
Oh my
So
God.
what
That is
category
like
would you
the
put it
worst
in, though?
thing to
It's-
me.
it's definitely
Indie
art
jump
house.
Like
scare.
art house,
Yeah.
indie. It's very. It was
Indie.
something that I did not expect. First of all, we had the whole theater to ourselves, like the first 10 minutes, and we all like separated and sat in our own seats. And then when the movie started, I thought it was gonna be a scary movie, and I was like, oh shit, I'm by myself back here, like.
I kept looking at her. She kept
And
being
I was
on her
on my
phone
phone
because she
and
didn't
I
want to
was-
be scared. And then
was
like
scared.
about halfway through the movie, like I started looking back at her and she wasn't looking at her phone anymore because you could tell like it wasn't scary. At
It
all.
wasn't. It wasn't. Like what was really bugging me was first we were at Pro Ridge and
Okay.
the vents. You remember that?
Yeah, the vents were like they would rattle every so often.
And I was just by myself, like, what?
The worst part about that is like
Atmosphere.
I started getting so into the movie, I thought that was part of the sound design because it fits so perfectly with
Yeah.
because like it was like the house was creaking sort of thing, and so like to me because it creaked in just the right spot in several places, and so they said that it creaked in the wrong spot in a couple other places, but I was so drawn in at that point that I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is amazing sound design.
Right?
Oh wow! Like I was sitting there like this should be up for an Oscar.
How did they do that?
Yeah. And shout out to Leonardo DiCaprio
Yo, you might be
again.
able to watch that, babe.
Yeah.
Just because it's
Yeah.
not scary.
It's
man.
really not that scary.
Telling you.
Wait,
The-
wait till it comes out on DVD.
Yeah,
Wait
the
till
scariest
it-
part about it, really, the scariest part about it is thinking of it in the way that the trailers are having it.
Okay.
Like, if you didn't see the trailers and you went in to see this film, you wouldn't be scared at all.
Okay.
The thing
haven't
is,
seen the trailer.
yeah, and that's the thing is like it's that buzz really affected the way people think about it, and that's a classic example of how marketing can make or kill a film. Because if this was marketed differently, the rating would be so much better.
Yeah, big time.
Sorry about that.
No. No.
Yeah, like I feel like also what hurts a lot of things is hype too. Like
Hype.
Yeah, big time. I heard the Kanye West album once.
The newest
Just
one, The
the
Life
new
of
one.
Pablo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
What
I just
did you
listened-
think?
I kind of liked it, but I had to turn it off because if I played it anymore, I was just like, this shit sucks. And I
Yeah.
have to wait till like all the hype is gone so I could really like. take
Oh
the
yeah.
judgment.
I'm the same way. When people overhype something, I don't necessarily like fall into it. Like pho, everybody was into pho at one point.
Like
I
the
didn't. I've
food?
never. Yeah, I've never ate pho before because I just felt like I just knew so much about it, and I was like, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
Twilight was another thing. Everybody was into Twilight. I did not watch a Twilight movie until the last movie came out when they had a marathon on TV,
Yeah.
and that was the only time I watched it. I don't know. Like I'm just like, okay, I'm getting too influenced right now.
Right, like
Yeah.
too much. Like,
Yeah.
gotta step back.
Yeah, I mean that's the hype is a big reason why I saw Star Wars as many times as I did, because like the first time I saw Star Wars, I was just like, nope, I can't make any legitimate judgment off of this because I'm too into this. Like me personally, I'm too into this. The hype is fed so much of this. Then I saw it a second time and I was able to like be
Break
a
it
little bit
down.
more objective. And then the third time is when I was able to like really kind of concentrate on a lot of the details and whatnot. So I'm as soon as it comes out on, well, I mean, it's probably still in theaters in a couple places, but once it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm going to end up getting it on there just to see all the background stuff in it and whatnot, which is now been announced too. They just announced that like I believe it's like April 4th or 17th or something like
What?
that. The Blu-ray's already coming out. Yeah,
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
That was
yeah,
really
they
quick.
wanted it out fast.
They're gonna be
Star
like,
Wars was
banking on
like
the DVDs.
Yeah.
broke the box office like completely.
They're gonna kill the DVD scene.
And so did Deadpool. Deadpool did so good.
That's what I
Yeah.
heard.
I
watched-
heard Deadpool was really violent.
Yes.
Did you say that?
You
the first
do
one.
not bring your kids.
It's
Do not
yeah,
bring them.
it's
No, no, no.
it's
That's
gore.
not-
It's a great love story though.
Yeah.
Is
The
it?
third
Yeah.
time I watched it, someone brought their 6-month-old baby, and I was like, wow. Yeah. Even Deadpool had this little video where he's just like
Don't
if
bring
you,
your kids.
Yeah, don't bring your kids. If you bring your kids here, I'm gonna tell you where babies come from.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Like there is a whole thing. And
Yeah, the
it's not
marketing for that
kids.
movie is awesome.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and Deadpool itself is kind of the movie is very revolutionary, just from the fact that like one, it took 10 years essentially to make this film.
Wow.
They like basically what happened was Wolverine origin story came out, and they had a form of Deadpool in it, and everyone reacted so badly to that form of Deadpool because it wasn't what we knew at all from the comics.
Right.
And so people reacted violently to that Deadpool, like they viscerally hated that version. And so Fox killed it. They were just like,
Yeah.
no, this isn't happening.
You can't fuck up any superheroes. Like people get
You can't
people
do
take
that.
shit
They
serious.
take
Oh,
it
yeah.
seriously. They
Yeah.
look up to superheroes, like
Right.
from like way back when. Like
And the thing too is like, again, getting back to that like objective thing, it's like it's so heavy in comics with all the movies coming out. There's so many people who are like, F this, fuck that, and this is shit and whatnot. And I can understand small changes, and because the mediums are very different. So I get that. I understand those things. It's the ridiculous changes that make no sense whatsoever. Like the fact that like in Deadpool's nickname is the Merc with a mouth. And in the Wolverine movie, his mouth is sewn shut. So it's like, what's the point there? Like, part of the appeal of Deadpool is the things that he
What have you
says.
done?
Correct.
Yeah, they just totally killed the whole thing. And so, like, basically, they were like, nope, this isn't happening. And then a couple years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago now, that leaked footage came out, the test footage with the CG and whatnot.
Okay, yeah.
And then that was like, this is the Deadpool we want. Everyone started talking about it. And then so Fox was
Smart.
like, okay, we'll do it. And the thing is, the budget was incredibly low.
Yeah.
So they shot it all super cheap. But because the budget was so low, Fox was like, well, we don't have to pay attention to you making this movie, so we're not going to give a lot of notes, because they had only a few $1 million essentially, and they made it for essentially like an indie movie price. And so they didn't have a lot of studio intervention, and it let creative people be creative with it.
Sounds
and so,
like hip hop.
Yeah, exactly.
it's
time.
very creative, very
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah, and what makes it so innovative too is the fact that it had a February release, which is essentially
Valentine's Day and
Well,
the whole thing.
yeah, but the thing is, like in the movie business, February release is where you like bury a film. That's because the Oscars are happening around February, and so because it's so early in the year, realistically, that's where you put the movies that you're like, well, this isn't going to get any Oscar attention because no one's going to be seeing it anyway. So generally speaking, February has bad turnout.
Right.
It's rated R, which is again, generally speaking, has less turnout.
Correct.
But the marketing was so unique too. Like they didn't market it as really a comic book film so much. They marketed it as Deadpool, and there were like these billboards that were like emojis. There was another billboard that made it look like The Notebook Part 2.
Oh wow.
Like there was,
What?
They really went left field with this shit.
yeah, they went completely left field, which is what kind of that's kind of what Deadpool is he's this character in the comics that breaks the fourth wall. He's the only one really in the Marvel universe that knows he's a comic book character, and he talks to the audience. There's sometimes where there's narration bubbles and there's speech bubbles, and there's the way that a lot of the Deadpool comics is his narration bubbles is the voice in his head, and so he talks to that voice. He talks to the narrator. He talks to the audience.
Oh,
he does all
shit.
these things.
That's awesome.
And so that's why it's a really unique film.
I gotta check
And
that out.
when they did it just right. It's this right mix of comedy, action, this love story, and Deadpool kind of tends to be a little bit gory because he's the merc with a mouth. He doesn't care. He'll work for whoever pays him the most money. He'll just like kill rampantly if it makes him his money, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so there was just this right amount of mix of the comedy that is Deadpool, the love story that they were trying to tell, the action, and this like I don't give a fuck about life feel that Deadpool has. And so it's not overly gory. It's kind of comedic gory, but it really suits the character very well.
I gotta check that shit out.
Yeah, it's completely worth it. It's really good.
I like that idea of that fourth wall,
Mm-hmm.
like mingling with the people, and he knows he's a comic book character, and he's just like kind of just fucking with everybody.
Yeah, it's
Because he
so
knows,
good.
Y'all
like-
watch it.
She's just having
I'm
flashbacks.
trying not to like spit out what's happening because you guys already said like 2 or 3 things that they have like mentioned in the movie, so it's just like I'm just
Yeah.
like
One of the perfect example, and the other thing too that I love about it is because of the structure of this kind of story, it's not very spoilable, Like they don't do anything that's gonna take this left turn that you don't see coming. So there's little spoilers, like you can sort of spoil a joke sort of thing.
Yeah.
But the thing too is the style of joking that I have, because it's fourth wall breaking. Even those aren't very spoilerable. So like one of my favorite things that really highlights that ability to break the fourth wall is they have two mutants in the show or in the movie. They have Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
All right.
And there's a point where he goes to them to get their help to go save his girlfriend. And when he shows up, he like knocks on the school of the Xavier's door and whatnot. And Colossus answers the door, and Negasonic standing in the background, and they have this whole conversation. And then when they're leaving, they agreed to come help him. They're leaving, and Deadpool says, "You know what? Every time I come here, I only see you two. Isn't that weird? It's like the studio couldn't afford any more mutants." And it's just this great, yeah.
And they don't really know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
like,
they don't understand it at all. They're just like,
Yeah.
okay, he's saying stupid
he's
things.
speaking in
Yeah,
parables
yeah.
and shit. This guy's crazy.
But it's those kind of things that click so well, and it's those
Yeah.
inside jokes that make Deadpool what he is.
Yeah.
And they did it so perfectly.
I gotta check that out now.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
because it's done
Definitely.
right. You know, talk to my brother about it. He's a big comic book junkie. He's an artist out in Berkeley.
Yeah.
So he
Wow.
he curate galleries and shit right now, and working on his masters. But he's been doing like storyboards and stuff,
Right.
drawing them stuff out.
Nice.
So I could actually talk to him about this one.
Oh, yeah,
I know
no,
he's
it's
seen that shit
fantastic.
like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
I've seen it 3 times in the first week it came out.
Did you really? That was that
I've
dope.
seen it 3 times, yeah.
So which one is better, Deadpool or Star Wars?
Oh, you
Can't
can't do that. It's 2
No.
different types of movies. You can't do that. That's
Why
like me
not?
asking you, like, who's your favorite artist?
My favorite artist is Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
Because of his.
He
Dot, dot,
has the energy. Like he will like go crazy any moment, performing wise. Especially the young Busta Rhymes, like the woo-ha.
Oh, when he had his
and-
long
When
dreads.
he had, dreadlock
Oh,
Busta
my
Rhymes.
God.
Yeah,
It's funny that you mentioned that too, because there's
Leaders
a
of
there's a
the
video
new school.
circulating right now of him where they're saying like, oh, he still has that flow, and there's this video of him on.
Oh, yeah,
It might
I
be-
reposted it. It's the one where he did the verse for Look At Me Now with Chris Brown, and they wanted
Yeah.
to see if he could spit that fast.
Yeah, yeah.
And he did, and right at the end, he like whips out his handkerchief, and he's just like,
Yeah.
he's just like, and you see it when he's like spitting, he's just like he's just trying to get like, there's no more like air in his lungs, and he's just like, oh my God, I couldn't.
Yeah, he's the greatest.
Yeah,
for sure.
So of all time,
Of all time. Like, I mean, my personal favorite,
Okay.
greatest rapper of all time. I mean, there's a lot.
exactly,
of-
there's so much, but Star Wars and Deadpool, it's 2 different categories for me, so I can't choose one.
Yeah.
It's like comparing a rapper and a singer. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
Thank
all
you
right,
for
good
that
point.
analogy, Cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still here.
It's like texting me where you at, Cody. Listen, you fuck.
I'm just teasing him
I'm in
because
the
he's
mix.
hungover
Yeah.
again.
So,
What's
Koji,
new?
what did you do last night?
I drank
Yeah.
way too much. It was over at the homie Ruckus crib. We were watching the Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz fight.
I got there after work. Cozy picked me up. We went back there, and we were just like,
We got there right when it finished. When
Yes.
Nate Diaz finished them all.
Yep.
Were you upset like everybody else was?
I was because I didn't say anything at the time because it seemed like everybody was going against Connor, and I was like the only one going like, "Fuck, man, I hope this dude knocks him out."
Yeah.
We got him in the fucking rear naked choke, just like
Yeah.
a lot of people predicted.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you keep up with the?
Not really, but I seen it everywhere yesterday.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
everywhere, everybody.
yeah,
was
that's
talking
what
about it.
happens.
And what's really funny about the what happened too is when me and Cozy in the morning were shooting a wedding together,
Yeah.
and then we stopped by a place to go get some
Yeah,
e-juice
the
for
guy,
the vape,
like,
and
called it.
and we sat there and like I was saying, well, you know, I want McGregor to win, and then one guy was like, well, if you think about it, like I can't remember his name, but he was there at the vape shop. He's like, well, if you think about it, like if McGregor doesn't get a knockout in the first round, he's going to lose by submission, guaranteed. And sure enough,
Second round.
That's exactly
second
what
round
happened.
goes down.
Yeah.
It's done. He gets out by submission because
Yeah.
he couldn't get that knockout. Nate played it smart. He didn't go in to give him that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then McGregor got tired out. Nate came in, got the submission.
Fuck with that
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, son.
Yeah.
That's the
It
biggest
was
thing.
it was crazy. There's so I feel like Vegas is just banking like with money, especially
this
from
was fu-
Super Bowl.
Oh, this is in Vegas. The fight.
Was the fight in Vegas?
Was it fight in Vegas?
I don't know. Probably.
No, but like bets in general,
yeah.
you know, because Super Bowl, everybody and their moms and their grandmas and their grandkids and their aunties and everybody went for the Panthers, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sorry about it.
The worst part about that, like my like I don't have a lot of regrets, but I definitely regret not doing this. Was my friend was in Vegas to place bets on the Super Bowl, and literally every single one of my friends was like, Panthers are going to win. I was like, you know what? I don't really have a stake in this, but I want the other guys to win. Go ahead and like I told her jokingly to put 100 down on it.
Yeah.
And at the time, like it was I want to say the non-spread, none of the specifics of betting. It was just win-loss essentially.
Mm-hmm.
The odds were, it was something like 32-1 that they were going to win.
Wow,
and so like if
that's
I had dropped
big time.
$100 on that and it turned out the way it did,
Yeah.
I could have had
A
30.
big flip.
Yeah, like I believe that's $3,200
Yeah.
for just
About it.
risking $100.
We
It's
did
like
that too when we
Playing
went to the
roulette.
yeah the first time I went to the casino, right? She took me to Atlantic City, and yeah, and we was like, all right, let's play the roulette because that has the best odds, I think, just because of 50-50 black and white. And we just played her number, and we
27.
27, and we put down like a $5 chip, and we're like, cool. And we got the number 27. We're like, what? This is awesome,
They
right?
get your little step.
No, like a little stat, like 2 chips, like
Oh, that
boom.
was it.
But it was like a lot of money. We didn't even know. And we're like, all right, we played again. Oh, all right, never mind. Then we realized, oh shit, that was like 36-1. That was like, actually, we would have went home after that.
I can't gamble. I'm too scared. Like
I do. I
The
don't
last
gamble.
time-
I do not like.
Last time I went to Vegas, I was going there for a skeptics convention called TAM, the Amazing Meeting.
Okay.
And I remember, it's just learning. It's learning how to do a lot
Bunch
of
of
what
atheists in one building.
Not necessarily, but I mean, skeptics tend to be atheists just because of the nature of skepticism. Like
Yeah.
the point that they're trying to get to bring home is to be able to identify the difference between good source of information and a bad source of information, and how to, so because we can't know everything, so I can't like necessarily look at a medical study and be like, well, this is the determination that should happen,
Right.
because you can't. But you need, one of the things that they focus on a lot is how to find a trustworthy source versus a non-trustworthy source, and being able to identify the difference of them, and how to check to see if something is true. And that's part of why I got the nickname Science Ben, is because I
That's
have
so
that.
important.
Yeah, very much so. Is learning what can be trusted, what can't be trusted, how to verify and back up those things and whatnot. And that way, one of the processes that happened when I becoming Science Ben was a friend of mine for a while now, and he still does it. He'll just post something on Facebook and tag me and be like, "Is this real?" and so like I go and do a quick search, and I come back with him like yes or no essentially,
Yeah.
and maybe a small explanation. But that all kind of stemmed from going to like TAM and listening to the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe podcast, which is not so much about skepticism, more about just the science in general.
Yeah.
Listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson's podcast, Star Talk Radio.
Right.
Just all these kind of sciencey podcasts, and getting that feel for learning about what a source is versus what bullshit is.
Bullshit is, yeah.
And so,
So important. That should be like internet fundamental lessons real quick, like skepticism 101. for
yeah,
internet.
and it's helped me out a lot. So like one of the things that I did is during some of the off time, I went and I was just like, well, you know, a lot of people get stuck on slots, and I just
Yeah.
want to see it. Like I understand that the slot machines they're rigged to basically get you keep feeding money and whatnot. And I remember sitting there paying like the nickel slots or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, you learn the statistics. Like if you know what you're looking for, you can see these statistics where like if you're sitting there and you're constantly hitting it, you're gonna get these little payoffs. And so like and every once in a while you'll get a decent sized payoff. So I remember sitting there playing, and like after like 30 minutes, like I would win like $200 something.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, oh wow, that was really cool. And looking back on it, I can be way more objective than it was. I ended up sitting there wasting that $200 again, just getting
Yeah.
little minor wins and then it going back down. And like it's designed to keep you sitting in front of that, re-spending whatever it is that you win.
Right.
And at the same time, because there's math in this to the point where it's like the human mind will sit there and go like, okay, well if they win at least this much every 10 turns, every 10 times they spin, or even like 20 times or whatever it is, that will keep them, that will like give them this adrenaline boost and this like, the serotonin release will happen, and that'll make them want to go, okay, I can do this again, and they just keep going and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so gambling is that really weird thing that
It's a science.
Yeah, it's very much a science.
Yeah, like
It's really
psychology,
crazy how much goes into it.
a lot of like mind games. It's all a mind game.
Yeah, and not just psychology, like psychiatry too. Like the
Yeah.
chemical processes that go on in the
Yeah.
brain are ridiculous.
I heard that they pump like more oxygen into the environment also.
And yeah, it's a little bit more heavily
Yeah.
oxygenated environment because a heavy oxygen mix in what we breathe does create a small amount. Like if we breathe nothing but oxygen, we would get euphoric really quickly, and that's one of the claims behind the reason why they drop straight oxygen masks in airplanes when it depressurizes is because the likelihood of you surviving is not good. So they put you in this euphoric state so you don't panic.
Oh my God! I'm glad I did not know that while I was a flight attendant.
You were a flight
Well-
attendant.
I
Oh
was
my
a flight
goodness.
attendant
Yeah, that's-
for like
Have you
7 years, 7 or 8 years.
Have you
If
seen them
someone
drop
had
before?
told me that, have I seen
Well,
them drop?
it's a claim. It's a claim. I don't think there's any hard evidence to back up that is the actual
Don't
reason.
quote science, Ben.
But
Don't.
that's something that people have claimed, and like
I could see them
Oh yeah.
doing that.
Oh yeah, no, of course. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
so much
just
out there
to,
that it's like,
yeah.
and that's something that I've really found that I love about being skeptical about things is there's so much out there that you can be like, oh, I could totally see them doing like
Yeah.
one of my more passionate pieces right now is with GMOs. Many people who I agree with on most of the things are very anti-GMO. And what I see more often than not is that stems because of Monsanto. And I completely get that. I don't like Monsanto. I find that they have very shady business practices, and I think that most of the claims that are going on, I could totally see them doing these things.
Yeah.
But the science about GMO itself
Yeah.
shows repeatedly that they are not harmful to be consumed or used in any way. Like we can see that objectively. But the pesticides that Monsanto produced and are pushing, and the way that they've kind of guided their GMO production to be resistant to those pesticides so they can sell more of that pesticide, that's a horrible practice. I agree on that. I completely be like, stop using these pesticides that whose names I can't remember. Definitely stop those. But the thing is, so many people loop in GMO into that hate.
Yeah.
When GMO has the potential to do some really amazing things and really like completely cut out starvation and whatnot, and people not having enough food and whatnot. They're able to do these things because of GMO, and it's been shown repeatedly, scientifically, that they are safe for consumption.
Yeah.
And there's been a couple studies that come out and show these bad effects from GMO.
Yeah, I was thinking
And-
like GMO was like a byproduct of corn or some.
No,
crazy
it's just
stuff like that.
genetic modification, which, if you want to get really technical, we've been doing for thousands of years because selective breeding is also genetic modification. The
Right.
only difference is now we're able to manipulate them on a cellular level, so we can change the genetics of some. We don't have to wait
Right.
18 generations to get the kind of corn we want. We can get this gene to be inside this tomato in one generation now.
Wow.
And so, and there's one of the big damning study that happened was this study that was done with rats. That they're like, oh, we fed these group of rats nothing but GMO, and now they're just riddled with tumors. They show pictures of these rats that have tumors, except the things that they don't tell you in the study and the things that came out in the peer review of that study were like, oh, but these rats are bred to have tumors because they use these rats to study tumors. So they're bred to be more experienced to have tumors. They didn't have a control, so they didn't have any rats to say, well, we gave these rats no GMO, and look, they don't have tumors. We don't see that at all. All of the little fine points of science that happened in that study were ignored, and that came out during peer review, but most people don't hear about the peer review.
Yeah.
So like everything that has been said negatively towards the health effects of GMO has been shown, again, repeatedly to not be true. But people don't get to hear that side of those things, or they don't go looking for those sides of things. And so now there's this culture of hating GMO that's being looped in with this hate for Monsanto, which, like I've said, I agree completely. Monsanto has some very shady business practices that need to be regulated and stopped.
Speaking of shady business practices, what are some issues that you guys see in the local hip hop scene from the time that you guys have been here
I
Like
like
some-
that
that need to be
question.
addressed?
Yes, it
Some
needs to
shady
be.
business.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, not shady business, just
No, no, no.
issues. Not shady business, just issues.
okay.
I was just trying to.
No,
We're-
I got
we're-
sick of hearing about GMOs.
I kept, I get down these tracks where I just kind of go.
I told y'all
he needs to bring
science
like-
bender, and I go
right,
on.
That's a good fucking
No
30
way.
minutes, bro.
No, because I'm like hearing you go in on it. I'm like, damn, that sounds like racism against GMOs. And I was
I'm
like,
gonna use that.
dang.
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna be
The
like, you're
man.
racist against GMO.
The
Start
reason
using that against people.
science bender.
That shit was
the
dope,
reason
though.
the reason why we always like Cozy would bring that up is because it's something that does need to be addressed, something that we need to talk about.
Well, what are
Yeah.
some issues that you see from your perspective, from your time here and being involved in the music scene and the hip hop scene?
Oh, it's easy. It's just motherfuckers just want to be artists. That's it.
Uh-huh.
And they get stuck in just bad habits and not wanting to educate themselves on how to be better business and
Yeah.
deal with trial and error.
Yeah.
Some people may just like, you know what, fuck it, I just have a job and I just make music and not do it right. You know? Well, they do the music right, but they're probably not the best person to work with if you're trying to go further and beyond.
It's
I
like,
got a question on that real quick. So when you say just want to be artists, I'm assuming that you're using it in use of like they want to be a celebrity versus like not like they actually
Right,
want to
yeah.
understand the art of thing and be an artist, like be artsy with it. They just want to be like known as an artist. Is
No,
that
they
what
just
you're
want to
saying?
be artsy with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
they just want to make it because they like it.
So they
just
do
wanna
it for
make
the love
They
type
just do it for the
dudes.
love,
Yeah.
and that's so important.
Yeah.
But like, if you, that's the only thing. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just some people just get settled with it and not take the business part seriously.
And that's where the
Be on
term
point.
starving artist comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
And what I notice with some of the artists, it's just that they don't know the business side, you know? They're just so heavily into working on their music and then, and then sometimes the fact that they don't know anything about the industry side, they're afraid to jump into that. They're
Right.
just like, oh, I don't know anything about it. That's, we've all seen it with like NWA, with like management and all of that. Like that's what they're afraid of too.
Yeah.
Right.
But you gotta put your foot somewhere. You gotta start somewhere and
Yeah.
like try to get out there.
Yeah, it's like they don't want to know that kind of stuff. They want to get put on. It's always about somebody putting somebody on. When
Right.
we have all the tools and the access and resources to shit like the internet, where we can start doing shit for ourselves. You know,
Correct.
that do-it-yourself attitude, which I try to promote heavily. Like, why aren't artists like pressing up their own CDs, throwing their own release parties,
Right.
and all that stuff? You know what I mean?
Big time. It's so important for us to like take that initiative to make it happen instead of waiting for somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like fuck it. Like we can't get on the radio station. I'll make one.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight up.
man.
And put
Yeah.
all my homies on it and some people I don't know.
Word
Like
up.
just because it sounds good.
It's a big
What-
reason I started this podcast. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just to get people talking. Nobody want to talk to us, man. We talk to
yeah.
Each
Talk
other.
to
Talk to
everybody.
Right.
And the
right.
thing about artists too is like sometimes they're like I said, they're not open to the feedback, and then they're afraid to say something and they just let something go. And I'm like, if it doesn't sound right, if you don't like it, be honest with them. You just got to be straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And collaborating on the thing about collaborating is they're afraid to collaborate with somebody because somebody doesn't like someone or whatever it is. And I'm over here just like, it's not about that. It's
Right.
not about that. If this, like, if I was to start doing music, I want to be able to like be open to everybody by how I want it to sound. Like if, like Leelu, if I want to feature you on a track, I'd be like, oh, she would sound dope with so and so. Like, let's link them up and let's get
Right.
them, let's get their vibes going. Let's create
Yeah.
some chemistry.
Right.
And some people don't want to put it in. I don't understand.
I know for me personally, it's like getting to a level where we can see each other and we can actually give each other a hug and say, hey, what's up? And it's like family, and it's not like this competition
Yeah.
thing.
Competition is okay. Like competition
Competition
is
is
okay,
okay
but the
in
people
certain
that
arenas,
yeah, when
you know.
people in like the way they take it in is just that's it all depends on how they take it in.
Mm-hmm.
You
yeah,
know,
on a
like,
personal level or on a like battle of skills type level. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's important.
Because I feel like no matter what happens in a competition, whether you win or you lose, whatever it is, like whether that person is better than you or not, like, yo, pay some respect. Or just be like, yeah, that was dope. Like,
Yeah.
I really like how you did this. and that will help you work on your craft too.
Right.
Like everybody has their own lane, and not necessarily like if I was to choose to start rapping, like I probably wouldn't be like the best rapper alive. Like, you know, everybody has their own style.
Yeah, you got to be eager to learn
Yeah,
when you lose. Like,
exactly.
learn that shit. Like, why did I
Exactly.
lose? All right, this is a great experience. And you'd see what you did and see how you could improve it. And
Exactly.
just keep going at
Exactly.
it. You only lose when you give up. And, when
And
you're
you
not
learn
finished.
something new every single day. You're always, you're constantly growing.
Always a student.
Yeah.
Always
Shouts
a
to Polsky.
student.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
Polsky.
So important to stay a student, to be a good follower.
Willing to learn, you
Yeah.
know, open to it,
Yeah.
for sure.
But you got to have good mentors and a good follower, too.
That
To,
too,
like,
man. I always feel like growing up in the Hawaii the Hawaii hip hop scene. There's always this big like generation gap, this disconnect from the older generation that heads to the younger generation, and then the older heads are always saying shit to the young cats about them not being on game and shit. But there's also the younger cats that feel, I don't know the word, alienated by the older heads.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
time. Big time.
And it creates animosity, straight up. Because when things start popping for the new cats, then some OGs are just like, oh, okay, like, let me help you out. And then the new cats, they're just like, nah,
Yeah.
you didn't help me when I needed you.
It's like Chicago. It's like crabs
Yeah.
in a barrel. Like, people is trying to come up, and then they're like, yo, why would I help you out? I'm trying to come up myself, you know?
Yeah.
And seeing that shit and seeing Kanye and Common and everybody else had to leave Chicago to, like, get on is pretty sad. But they're so fucking strong dealing with that shit.
Yeah,
It
and
made them so strong.
like Bruno Mars, he's like blown up.
Yeah.
He's from here. Like my friend, my daughter's godfather went to school with him. Like they actually like had jam sessions together after school. Like, you know, and it's just like, why did he have to leave? You know?
Right.
And it's just, why did he have to leave? But you know what? He's
think-
word up to him. Like he's doing
Yeah.
big things, big things. But
If you could find harmony and just like transfer of information, like, oh, old head, you know this about this. Young, you know how to express this. Let's do this. Like,
Yeah.
work
And that-
together,
yeah.
and then
Be
you know
open.
it flows. You know,
That's how hip hop died in New York. Like, the old heads are like, I ain't supporting that shit. You guys sound stupid. You know, and they cut themselves off the lifeline. Like,
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
Now the old heads are like, damn, we're broke as shit. Nobody even want to book us for a show.
yeah, and you know, it's like, teach me, guide me. Like,
Yes.
guide me.
Yeah, because we got to work together. Because
Mm-hmm.
the young kids are now, like, crazy as shit because they have no guidance. They're just doing whatever they feel like doing because they're like, yo, fucking let's do it.
and they're like,
But the thing is
But
that
yeah, you respect that because
the
they're
voice
doing it.
is strong.
they
with
forget
them.
that they forget that they can learn something from each other. Old heads, come on! If you want to keep doing this, there's new stuff happening,
Yeah.
and the new kids are professionals at that,
Yeah, yeah.
and they have to work together.
Yeah.
And it's just like sometimes a new thing won't work, but an old way will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and some people they just forget that. They forget that so much about collaborating. Collaborating is so important. I just wish some people would just like leave their egos out the like at the door.
But the good thing about Hawaii, people here knows what love feels like.
Yeah.
And so as long as we're aware of that, we could help to encourage people to put that love in their shit and just work with each other and just make it happen, you know, because it has to happen. We have to do it as a community, you know, to get like seen for all of us, you know.
And don't feed into the negativity.
Don't feed that,
Don't
yeah.
feed into that. If it's anything that I've learned, especially like jumping on Aloha Broha, like just being willing to open to everything.
Yeah.
Like don't feed into all the haters, you know?
Yeah.
Like haters can lift you up, to be honest. Like that, like the statement of haters motivating you to do better, that's
Yeah.
a true thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
That's
got to
a true thing.
encourage the haters.
Yeah.
Yeah. we gotta
Just be
keep
like,
them-
oh, okay, it's okay if you don't fuck with it, but you
Yeah.
know, like us, you know, it's just that's your opinion.
Right, right. Well,
And to each his own.
Yeah.
yeah.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
Haters gonna hate.
Let them hate, you know. I really feel like Hawaii is very much like Jamaica too, man.
Yeah.
One reason is because Hawaii like started off with the reggae thing,
Right.
You know, and reggae is from my perspective, reggae is the foundation to hip hop.
Yep.
And I feel like it started off, like reggae started, well, dance hall started like in the 50s, 60s with turntables and mics and just people just partying outside and shit and jamming. And same thing. Like my parents went to New York when they first came to America, just like all the other Jamaicans, and the same culture was started. And the same habits from that culture, they brought it to New York and did the same thing, but the dialect was different, you know? And in Hawaii, you know, they know reggae, you know? And so they got that good vibe spirit, you know? And we know how to express that feeling. And so being a part of that and seeing us work together the same way that like King Tubby and Sly and Robbie and all the old Jamaican heads that started the dancehall thing, they really worked together really hard, and they just did it because they loved it, and they put it out there. They really put it out there, and we have the same ability to do that because the internet is amazing.
We are doing it.
Yeah, we are actually doing it. I mean, it's unreal because I know a lot of people see us, and we don't even know it. Like,
I'm
straight up.
excited for Sandy Scoops to have an event.
Ooh.
And bring
Yeah.
out all the artists that are on the radio
Yeah,
and
Sandy Scoop with
Honolulu
Greenleaf.
artists. and-
Are we getting a little
Collaborations.
influence into what's coming up here? A little
Is
sneak peek.
this
Yeah.
hints? What
Yeah.
is what's going on?
Definitely, having something is in the works.
We got to throw our own parties. We got
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
We
We
got to
have
do our
to.
own shit. We can't wait
Aloha
for it.
Broha exclusive here,
Straight
coming up
up.
soon.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
yes.
You guys can air that shit live there on
Look for
stage.
it.
Like, have the whole podcast, like, right
be
then
cra-
and there.
At the event?
At the
Yeah.
event, and then
Yo.
just bringing, like, other MCs and
We'll
artists
bring
and
them
other
up
people
to the mic
influence.
one
Yeah.
at a time.
We were actually talking about this when Cozy was, I joined Cozy when he had to record some time lapses for his vlog, and I was like, yo, why don't we make like some type of outdoor event here, and then, you know, have like random like people just jump on and just be like, hey, we're here, you know, like what you want to
Yeah.
talk about?
Yeah,
like,
man, I want
yeah.
to take it back to those outdoor parties. Like, we used to
Right.
throw jams like
It's like
that
a
and
red
shit.
carpet thing too,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
almost like right before the show, you
Yeah.
guys just have like interviews and shit with everybody, and we still talking about.
Parking lot parties, block
mean, the reggae
parties,
kids- the
house
reggae-
parties.
The reggae kids do it all the time over
Yeah.
at Kaka'ako. I'm like, why can't the hip hop heads
Yeah.
have like a little jam
Yep.
session too? You know?
We
Straight.
can,
Yeah,
Yo, we can big
definitely.
time. So when can we do it?
Yeah. let's
we'll
do
talk.
that.
We'll talk. We'll talk.
We need to find portable power.
That's
Portable
easy.
power.
Generators.
Generators.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do a rental real quick.
I got a sound system.
Ho, ho, ho.
See how much collaboration can just
Look at
make
that.
something.
Yeah.
Opens doors.
Did we just make an outdoor party?
Yes, we did.
Oh snap!
Yes.
You heard it
No
first on Aloha Broha.
Stay
Yeah.
tuned. Stay tuned.
Yes.
That shit would be super dope.
So let us
Super
know,
dope.
where can we find anything from you guys? Like, where is your radio station at? Where's Leelu? I know you have a SoundCloud. You know, you guys are very active on Twitter. You guys show
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram,
Yeah.
SoundCloud, website. Just
right.
go through it all.
Okay, sandyscoops.com is the radio station, and there is,
SoundCloud.
no, you got your Leelu Express.
LeeluExpress.com.
Yeah, I worked so hard on that shit.
I know.
Yeah, shit. Let the world know.
What's coming up? What's coming up, Leelu? I know we kind of said a little bit about it earlier. I'm not sure if we had it. We were recording for so long. But you have something coming up?
Yes.
A project?
We do have a project
Mm-hmm.
coming up with Winzel, Rockamwell, and Magoo the dog.
You guys
Exclusive.
have-
Was I supposed to tell all of that
Yeah,
already?
that's
Okay.
cool.
He
Yeah.
has these conversations like, you got to keep some stuff.
I know, I tried to conceal
Don't
my
tell us
intentions.
too much.
Yeah.
Don't say too much. But there is a project coming
Start
out. So
running
there
my
is a
mouth.
project
There
coming
is
out.
this project coming
Okay.
out,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're working with some dope people that's like,
You guys got a good roster right now.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
So keep an eye
Shout
on
out to
LeeluExpress.com
everybody.
to hear more information about
Yeah.
when that's going to come out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Instagram, Leelu Express.
SoundCloud,
Facebook, Leelu
Facebook,
Express.
Yeah.
SoundCloud, Leelu Express.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah, check it out.
yeah.
We're gonna definitely be retweeting some stuff. So
Yeah.
if you guys are listening, Greenleaf check. We always retweet what's going on. We just gotta get more active on Aloha, bro.
Well, you guys
Yeah.
stay active. I see like cozies all over Aloha,
Oh.
bro.
Oh yeah, every time I post my blog, I'll just
He's
sign
like,
into the other accounts and retweet myself. Like, motherfuckers,
Yeah.
watch this shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's perfect. Like, it's at least it's active though. I'd be
Yeah.
going to people's shit and they'd be like, it says like July 2014. I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know, at least we know that people's on it and they see what's going on, and that's really important to stay active. It's hard work though. I have 2 Twitter accounts now, and it's like,
Oh,
what?
are you joking?
I feel dumb.
6.
Yeah.
I have, like, on my Instagram, like, now you can have multiple accounts on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, I got
Thank
6
you,
of those, too.
Instagram. I have,
Oh wow.
I have Aloha, not Aloha Broha. I have Greenleaf Check, and I have mine, and then now I have Fresh on there, and then I'm just like,
Wow.
and then you're talking about yourself in the third person, and then like promoting yourself. It's like, I'm just like, damn it, can somebody just do this for me?
You're like in the matrix now. Like
Yeah.
you're all over the internet.
Where
regardless.
are the interns?
Yeah.
What's that? That's where kids come in handy. Shout out to the team at the house because they help me out a lot.
Yeah.
I give it to my middle school niece, and I'm like, hey, hook up that Instagram real quick. She's like, Auntie, you need to take this off. And then those kids are in it. They are like in it.
They're
Auntie.
full
Yeah.
time. Yeah. They're
Yeah.
full time on it. But yeah, I'm also on. I just opened up my Sandy Scoops Instagram page. I really don't know what to put on my Instagram page because I'm like music. So I'm like, all right, I'll follow y'all, and I just put my logo up. But I'm mostly on my Twitter account, just tweeting all kinds of stuff from music videos locally and new music.
No.
Everything that any encouraging stuff that anybody's talking about on there, I post it up. Even good shit that keeps people going, you know.
No, that's what we need.
Yeah.
There's so much, like I said, we've talked about like the animosity and stuff like that. Like that's what we need to hear.
Yeah.
Like we got to remember we can't be focusing on that because that's such a distraction. And
There's
thank
some-
you for that.
Yeah.
There's some
Thank you.
real world shit going on that we can like get involved in and like
Rather than feeding into like some dumb shit. Like
exactly.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Shout out Bernie Sanders.
Yes. Hashtag feel the burn.
yes. I was
Are
totally
you a
teasing
burner?
Magoo the dog because Magoo works at a political office, and then like I started talking about it and going off, and he was like, "I don't want to hear any more of this. Like, I'm all day at work." And I'm just like, "But do you agree with me though?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"I'm not talking about anything anymore. I hate talking about this. It's all day, every day."
Yeah.
But we appreciate you for doing what you guys are doing, and don't stop.
No doubt.
Please,
you.
please don't
Thank you,
stop.
thank
Like,
you.
because it's very motivating. It keeps me going. Because when you guys are doing things, I'm like, damn it, I gotta go do this now.
Yeah. For sure, I
Yeah.
need feedback though. So if you guys just tweet me like, yo, this shit is awesome, this song here, or this shit sucks, take it off. Please let me know.
No,
Yeah.
I wanna
even
know,
if
like,
it
what
sucks,
people
because it might
feels.
be helpful to somebody else. You know,
Yeah.
like if you guys need like more ears, like you know what I mean, like. The fact that you guys study the social medias and stuff like that, see what's going on, that's a great thing because I had to do that for a long time.
Yeah.
To do that.
It's to actually, because we don't have a medium. There is no like hip hop medium for us, and we really gotta keep it alive because hip hop saves lives, big time. Because it's
So
important for us to, especially nobody lives like we do here.
Here
So,
in Hawaii?
Here in Hawaii,
Oh,
yeah.
that is such a big thing. That's such a big thing in our
big,
culture.
big thing. And it's
Completely different from anywhere else.
anywhere
in the
else, and
world.
so we really gotta express
learn how
that
to
instead of
hustle
being
here.
influenced by others, you know, about their lifestyles, because we try to implement that lifestyle here, and it just don't work the same. It's just like Beanie Man in Jamaica. He brought a big ass Hummer to Jamaica, and the roads are super small, and he fell off a cliff. Like you're trying to use this a different lifestyle. Yeah, but no, it's a lot of people laughed at it just because like you're trying to do a mainland thing, an American thing in Jamaica, and it doesn't really work as
yeah.
well here, you know.
Yeah.
So it's important for us to express this stuff to help, you know, to cultivate this awesome thing that we got bubbling up here.
No.
You know?
Don't
Big
stop.
time.
Beautiful, yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
stop.
it's really beautiful. It's really unique, and people gonna love it regardless because we,
It's so good, and you all are so inspiring. Like
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
yeah,
It's
big
really
time.
cool to be in a space where
You're around the same people with the same
Yeah.
like-minded individuals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's flowing.
we're
Yeah.
getting there. We're
yeah.
getting
So
there.
that's why I got the radio station, y'all, because y'all guys are pretty awesome, all of y'all. Just putting that shit out there and hearing how it all sounds together is like, damn. And I blame like popular artists without their popular song, and to hear what's in Hawaii blending with that stuff, it's like, damn, we are doing it because we're just as good. We just really have to boost each other's confidence and keep inspiring each other because we're glowing right now and people are really digging it. People come to Hawaii like all day long wanting to know what's going on here because they love this shit so much. And there's hip hop heads coming here and they love this shit and they want to know how hip hop is doing in Hawaii. And so they're like, yo, I would love to bring this shit back home and show what people are doing.
Yeah.
Let's do it, yo.
I think there's going to be like a revolution of sorts coming up in the next few years because just on this show alone, we've seen so many people that have been like, we need to get this out here, and they're coming up with ways to get more and more people to notice all the little things that are happening in the various subcultures out here. So like, I say like probably in the next 3 to 4 or 5 years or so, there's going to be just an explosion of creative people being
Something's happening
noticed
this year.
coming out of Hawaii.
Oh, this year. We just legal.
Something is happening this year for sure. I felt it since last year. Like I was just like, man, I see everybody just ready to like do something.
Yeah.
So we just all need to come together. And I'm telling you, something's gonna happen this year, and then it's just gonna snowball into everything within the next 3 to 5 years. Like Ben said, like if you can feel it, you gotta feed it.
It's gonna.
I know you do.
It's gonna start growing steam and momentum this year, and just gonna build in.
Get a mission to go behind and like do it.
You can see it. They're building infrastructure. There's buildings being built left and right out
Literally.
here. Like you can see it, and hip hop makes the most money. So we're gonna be like the biggest like innovators for this shit because they gotta pay bills, and we're gonna be able to make it happen for them.
Hell yeah, we gotta pay
Straight
bills.
up.
It's too damn expensive to live in Hawaii, but we're still here.
Yeah, I mean,
We're still here.
yeah, just because we keep it together.
That says a lot.
Big time, big time.
It's funny because I've like before getting on all this in the past, I've tried to move like 3 times, and I found that I was so broke I couldn't even move. Like I did not have enough money to get out of here to try and go make more money. So I was like, well, it ended up working out because now I'm doing great things with great people, but just it's so oppressive sometimes here. There's the high rate of everything. Mm-hmm. So anyway, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
You got any shows coming up, Science Ben?
We're gonna hit that in the intro piece.
Oh, okay.
So again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Thank you for playing us on sandyscoops.com and whatnot. That's such a cool thing and awesome. Getting more ears out there. So yeah, definitely everybody go check out sandyscoops.com and leeluexpress.com.
Yeah, weekdays 9 a.m. for Aloha.
It's like the morning show for Sandy
Thank
Scoops.
you.
Yeah, for sure.
When you told me about that, I was like, really? Really? I was like, damn, I gotta watch what I see on there now.
Have fun. Y'all is like really, really, really awesome on that shit. It really gets the people going.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt. Keep the good shit going, like with Fresh and with the music with John Cozy and Science Band over here with the comedy, yo. This is
And Cozy's vlogs, like
Vlogs,
there's so many
yeah.
people just watching the vlogs, and then they want to know what's going on, and like it creates so much interest, and it's just crazy. It's crazy.
Good shit all around.
Yeah, want to ride out in a vlog too one day.
Right
Just
on.
jump in the
do
whip.
it.
Everybody jumps in your
Do
whip,
it.
bro. Like
Do it. You gotta do it.
cruise out, right?
Wouldn't it be weird if Bill Murray showed up right now?
Who?
Damn, Daniel.